Tim Ryan is running for the Senate. He is currently a member of the House of Representatives, and he had a very fiery speech on the House floor about the many Republican leaders who have decided that they aren't interested in a bipartisan commission to find out really what happened during the January 6th insurrection. Here is Tim Ryan on the House floor.
I want to thank the gentleman from New York and the other Republicans who are supporting this and thank them for their bipartisanship. To the other 90% of our friends on the other side of the aisle, holy cow, incoherence, no idea what you're talking about. Benghazi, you guys chased the former Secretary of State all over the country, spent millions of dollars. We have people scaling the Capitol, hitting the Capitol Police with lead pipes across the head, and we can't get bipartisanship. What else has to happen in this country? Cops. This is a slap in the face to every rank and file cop in the United States. If we're going to take on China, if we're going to rebuild the country, if we're going to reverse climate change, we need two political parties in this country that are both living in reality, and you ain't one of them. I yield back the balance.
That was a political ad. Or something that it might actually not be allowed. You might not be able to use footage. I'm not exactly sure of the rules. Does that apply to House floor speeches?
I'm not sure that.
Yeah, well, that's why, I mean, I think the Kristen Sinema thumbs down, there was some technicality where they weren't going to be able to use that footage. But regardless, you know, the goal isn't bipartisanship, Tim Ryan. I understand his outrage about this. I mean, the fact that Republicans, many of whom would have been targeted by these insurrectionists, these QAnon folks, many who rioted and who stormed the Capitol, they are bowing down to their daddy, Donald Trump, and they are essentially saying, well, my political fate and my career is in the hands of these Trumpies and these MAGA folks, so I'm not going to do anything to anger them by supporting this commission, and who cares if my life was at risk? I'm going to get beyond that. I'm going to stuff that down real low.
I mean, I don't think they even feel like they're like, I think this is bigger than Trump. I think this is just all these Republicans are anti-majoritarian, they're anti-democratic, and this is this isn't a security issue. The problem is January 6th was not a security problem. It was a political problem. I'm sorry, but like when you have a party saying an election was stolen in any country, you can expect some part of the population to react pretty aggressively toward that. And I think that's frankly justifiable. The problem is you have a party predicated on lying about it, and they are still predicated on lying about it. So of course they're not going to want to investigate January 6th, because the real thing that needs investigating about January 6th is a party predicated about lying on the election. And
yes, and
they cannot go past that.
Well, they also don't want to set a precedent in this instance because they can't acknowledge that they lied about the results of the election, because they're going to do it again. They are going to do it again. Stop the Steal has been in the works in the Roger Stone pipeline for decades at this point. This was part of the effort to stop the recount in 2000. Roger Stone also behind that, much of the same people who are involved in this. This is a part of the playbook, so they have to kind of deny the results of it in order to use that same playbook again, right? But back to Tim Ryan, he's in the right, but the goal is not bipartisanship. The fact that you're focusing on bipartisanship is frustrating in and of itself and is indicative of the kind of credence that you shouldn't be giving to the GOP, because this is always who they've been. But really, I would be more annoyed if I wasn't aware that this was being used literally just for his Senate campaign. The fact that he shoehorned China in the middle of there, come on, dude. I mean, the grandstanding, I get it's going to work. It was seemingly targeted to Ohio, but for me, it was a bit cringe-inducing. However, it is outrageous, and yeah, I'm having a hard time.
It undercuts the argument about how outrageous the Republican Party is, because we're still entertaining it, that we're still outraged about it. We should move beyond that understanding, because it's like same thing with like, how about these fossil fuel supported scientists? Like, why won't you guys get it about climate change? They are fundamentally like their existence is about not getting that. So of course they're going to be anti-democratic. So you need to move on and like
codependence.
Yeah, convey reality instead of your exasperation and outrage, which is frankly like it's cheap at this point.
We are unfortunately out of time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on the Peacock app. We will see you tomorrow.